is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/bgunlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Forgotten Waters.
You can only refer to me as Duckface from now on.
Duckface. Yep, that's going to be your new bedroom.
Oh, Duckface!
Oh, you have to call me Watanabe. So this was a game
Got some meat for you.
Oh my god.
Ooh, it's Poppy's saber. That's what I'm gonna refer to my
X-rated review?
thing as. So yeah, what do you guys think?
What would you rate it? Just like...
Yeah, what would you rate it? Scale 1 to 10.
That's it. Thank you for the conversation. Like, comment, share, and
Subscribe,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Ring that bell, baby!
Well, I'll go ahead and say this. This game was one of the few that I was actually, I knew nothing about. I read nothing on it, because last time this company has started making these style storybook games in this format. It usually has it comes in like a book like this, where you just, all your action is happening, oh hey, there's a lock token, where all your action is happening on the actual page, and then whatever story stuff is happening over here. I always like stuff like that, but whenever they were mentioning, oh, this is the new Crossroads system, I was like, well, Gen 7 was a hot piece of shit, so, like, I'm not even gonna get this, so yeah, but what do you guys think? Did you guys like
enjoyed
it?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun and funny.
Yes. I really liked how they did the Mad Libs.
Yeah,
Right?
Oh, man.
that was awesome.
they really nail it, because like you do the pirate thing, everyone does it, everyone has a different edition of like a pirate game, but they really, when you're taking on these these themes that people have done 1,000 like zombies or whatever, it's like you really have to take it to a whole new level.
That is true.
And I really think they did.
I think so too. I completely wholeheartedly agree with that. Making it more mysticism than just the standard pirates, because we've played Merchants and Marauders, which is as close to a traditional pirate game as you can get. And here they took it up a notch with the fantasy and things like that. And I completely agree. I think that whenever it comes to pirates, that's usually not a theme that I really care for.
Right.
I'm not really into pirates.
Yeah, I can't think of too. I mean, we did the Rumble, a lot of the dice type games.
Yeah, we did the Salty Dogs. That was kind of one,
cute.
but that was more. Yeah, that was kind of a card based one, and then Merchants and Marauders, like I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this one, it just did everything so great.
Right.
Like it didn't try to be too serious about itself. They had some serious moments, but you could tell that they went more of a humor route.
Yeah, like I know the first joke that they made, it was just like so left field that we're like, what? Like, I can't remember exactly what the first one was, but like the one where it's like, no, and just
Oh yeah, whenever I was getting the pirate pal, I went into the cave and it was like, hey, there's a guy there, and he's like, hey, you want to buy a pirate pal? Nah, and I killed him, and then I got to pick one.
just
Shot him!
It wasn't a choice or anything.
Yeah, I didn't get to be like, oh, can I kill him? It's just
when the captain offered you spinach, that was funny, because it's like we're
time to pull out my secret weapon. I'm not eating that.
I wonder what would have happened.
Sir, we're trying to fight him. It's so well written. And I was looking in the app, and it looks like the first scenario, the Beyond the Waters, is the only one right now that has the voiceover.
Oh.
So the whole game doesn't quite have it. So they have 1, 2, 3. They have 5 total scenarios. 5 total scenarios. Beyond the Ocean's Edge, which is what we just did. Spoils of the Damned, Nature's Splendor, Witch's Heart, and Dead or Alive. So those are the 5 they have right now. But man, the audio, the voice acting is really good with the sound effects behind it, where it's not like
the ambiance. Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of the Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
Having that ambiance that just elevates games like that to where I'm so glad they went an app route. If they did this for Gen 7, that game could have been so fucking cool. Having like an app-driven story thing where this controls the Crossroad stuff. Because there were Crossroads events that depended on what we did throughout that. And it wasn't like, a deck like Dead of Winter where you're drawing and it's like, oh, does this happen or not? And then most of the time it doesn't. But when it does, that was always the level of excitement because it wasn't the same old. It was like, oh, hey, this new event comes up. I wonder why. But having the app in this just made it 10 times better. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any negatives? Any things? I don't even really have negatives. It's just more nitpicks, and I have a few.
You go first.
So one, I mentioned it, I think, while we were reading, or whenever we played the first part, was that while the voice acting and the reading and the ambiance is so cool, I think there's a slight pacing whenever they're reading. Because as soon as they're like from having a conversation from me to you, if I say something and you're responding, there's usually a pause in between that for you to then talk. Whenever it's reading, it just jumps, so it almost sounds like it's just weird. Yeah, that it's almost a run-on sentence. And so that's kind of a little disjointed. But I think the negative for that, or the opposite side, would be if they took it too long. Because I feel like the reading was relatively well paced.
And they had to keep it quick because that's a lot of lengthy.
It was, yeah,
to be narrated.
There was a lot, and so I felt the pace of the reading was really good. But versus, I feel like just slight pause in between conversations between two people would have been a little bit better. And the other one was, it's not really a negative, like I said, it's a nitpick. But what do you guys think of the kind of cutthroat nature, where the fact that we can steal from each other or things like that?
I mean, I kind of like that.
It's not bad.
It makes sense because, we are pirates. We're not good people.
But the thing is we're pirates on the same crew. And as far as I know, pirates as a crew are like a family to one another. But I guess we all have our own agenda.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't like pirates at all.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
And I'm an assassin. You think I have morals?
I don't even remember why I was on the ship. That witch at the very beginning just blanked my memory.
She was like, she really
I just had some
messed you
fortune,
up.
and I guess I was kind of the same boat of exploration.
I don't
Watched
think
your mother get killed and you just escaped.
Yeah, I just left. Yeah.
I mean, for a cooperative game, it was very mild, semi-cooperative that they threw in there. But, I mean, it wasn't anything horrific. It was, I think it was exclusively stealing treasure.
Yeah,
I think that was the only thing that we could fuck each other over on.
Right.
Otherwise,
and it was never really that bad. It was like, oh, what do you have?
We weren't trying to be the best pirate at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, short of that, you really had to work together. I mean, just having high infamy let you pick first, and then you got that special event that you needed for this skill, or you wanted more treasure or whatever.
And you still could have conversed and be like, okay, well, hey, I really need some aim. I don't have any. Can I go? Then they'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? Or you could be like, well, no, I really want to do it, and then go. So, yeah. But, I mean, it might weird some people out, because some people don't like any type of that. Ooh, what? Oh, you really like that treasure? Nope, I want it. Some people might not like that. Like I said,
you need to get yourself a 3-legged cat.
It's very nitpicky on that end, because where Kat says it's pirates. I was thinking more, well, we're on the same crew, but then again, we all have wildly different backstories.
Yeah, we don't know each other. We're just getting paid.
Right, what was it? Captain Vance hired us to be on there. So yeah, we're just like, oh sure, why not?
Yeah. And it just comes down to it's just who they are as people. Maybe someone does have sticky fingers, and they're Devin's character. You were off doing something, he was bossing you around, and you were like, "Don't mind if I do."
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, nothing ever came of Hitler joining our crew.
He was
just a really good.
He was in the water. I'm like, oh hey, who's this guy?
My boy, what's up?
Hey, I'm laid off. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Missed that stash.
Did you shave something different?
So, God, this game was just so good. It has been a long time where a game has been genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Where it's not us as friends making jokes that we're putting it into the game, but the game genuinely made us laugh.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I just read the first sentence of my legendary one, and it's just...
Yeah, so let's talk about these character sheets. This is such a brilliant way to make characters. Most of the time, it's literally just kind of this thing. You come up with a funky name, and then you just have the skills.
Right.
But this Mad Lib, the story blanks, are just
like,
so funny.
Just adds that extra little spice.
Yeah, I'm such a kid at heart when it comes to Mad Libs. I think they're so funny no matter what. So the fact that they're like incorporated in our backstory is just...
So I mean, even if I played the all-seeing...
You and I would have become the greatest of friends if I had been legendary.
No!
Oh,
I would have done... The first sentence of mine on Legendary is, after months of searching, it all comes down to this. You triple backflip into the most powerful version of your elbow drop! And just that is just triple.
And that's the thing is like, because we could play these same 4 again and change the story blanks, the ad-libs, and it'd still be the same general story, but it'd be a different events that go on, which makes it really funny. Like, my Legendary is one day Hitler tells you the tale of the Dirty Whale, a naval ship that has gone missing in the area and was rumored to be filled with royal treasure. So it's like, it was Hitler. Why do you know that? That's so interesting.
I develop a great friendship with
whatever her name
Grace Carla, whose smell you eventually grow quite fond of.
Ooh.
Pretty bad. I am the most piratey.
Yeah, I really like the fact that everyone all these have their different skill sets. That as you aim, because I'm certain you just aimed. You went for certain spots that would just give you your stars.
Yeah.
How close were you for 5? For getting all 5?
I was 3 away.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I mean, if I had tossed all, I guess I could have tossed the extra treasure. That still wouldn't have gotten me there.
That's probably the quickest way if you want to get all 5 is you have to start just burying treasure at the spots that you can. Because I was 1 away from having 4, so I could have gotten the good ending.
Yeah.
And then I was 5 away from getting legendary. So mine was relatively difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't get a lot of
Stars.
points, yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I did a lot of the other things.
Yeah, we kind of accidentally screwed you over on having you go to we have to do this location every time.
Right.
Well, someone has to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Well, it depends on the infamy track. I mean,
Yeah.
if that starts to bother you and you get tired of resigning, you have to do something that gives you infamy.
Right.
So I did like that. How it just did, just simple pictures. Like white, you're definitely going to get that. Black, you might get the rest of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Like the game, once again, the game is 4 pages of a rule book.
That's
so it's just it's amazing that it's that short and it's so simple to play. You come in and this is kind of like an advanced Tales of Arabian Nights.
Yeah,
a lot of it is just story driven based off some of the.
This definitely replaces it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so streamlined and amazing.
And like you're right, you everyone has their own individual role, but it's not like U-Boot. Remember that game where it's like you had to sit here and, you had to understand submarine technology.
That's for guys with model train sets.
And miniature houses. They're just really into it.
So next level, that game.
Right.
I mean,
like literally, because whenever it's pass out rolls, I was like, oh, I wonder how intricate these are going to be. It was literally just a way for everyone to kind of manage a certain track.
right.
Yeah, because it would have been too much for one person.
Right.
And even having more than one track, it's not overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you had 2, Kat had 1. I mean, I really had 1, but this was just, okay, I'll move this around. The infamy, I love this. Like you mentioned, it's just this breaks ties, this determines player order. And that's it. Like, the lookout, you are occasionally placing threat on there, and then you keep track of the objective.
Oh, we're hurt.
And then the whole. It's just, this game did so much with really so little. They didn't need, oh, hey, a Kickstarter. And this wasn't Kickstarter.
Oh, that is already on its own very applaudable.
Right?
Because everyone is just like, oh, give me free money.
Yep. Yeah,
And
if
here's
this
a game in 4 years.
great, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, if this was a Kickstarter, then there'd probably be already a bunch of more expansions and things. But here's the thing: with this being app-driven, they have the ability to do what Mansions of Madness does and put in DLC. Hey, here's an expansion to Forgotten Waters. It's a scenario, $15, whatever it wants to be.
Constantly updating.
Because all you would really have to do is
Get more pogs.
Get more location tiles. And they, like I said, they did so much with so little. Like I said, with it being Kickstarter, or if it was Kickstarter, it'd be like, oh, here's 5,000 cards, and it's like, because I have a Kickstarter in that box in my living room, and I'm like, I haven't even taken, there's so much in there, and I'm
Jesus.
like, oh god, I don't want to look through all that,
Yeah.
because it becomes overwhelming.
If you pay an extra $100, your little ship turns into a little miniature ship, an actual miniature.
Yeah, I mean,
It's oh great.
It's why would I do that? The standee works perfectly
Why did I
fine
pay for
because this is just kind of like for reference. The whole story's here
Yeah.
and in the app. And of course, people are like, there's the old community that hates app-driven games.
I don't know how
It's
to
just
use
only-
my phone.
It does. It only because their argument is, what are you going to do in 20 years whenever the app's not available anymore? It's like, what the fuck do you mean?
I think
like,
in 20
you're not
They
playing.
will update it.
Right? Like, the phones aren't going away.
Right.
Like, the app's still going to be there. And it's like, no board game is going to have 20 years of support.
Whenever you see a comment like that, you just have to comment back and be like, "Are you scared of robots?
Are you
Like,
scared of that your life is almost
Were
over?
you scared of electricity when it first
Are
came
you
out?"
Amish?
Yeah.
Are you? You know, they might be. And if they are, that is perfectly fine. This game
Why
is
are they
not
on the
for
computer
you.
if they're Amish?
True.
How are you
That's true.
commenting?
Yeah, how are you commenting?
Well, I committed a mortal sin just to say this.
I love the ship scribe, like, and who knows, like, the other 4 scenarios might be even longer. I've heard that the 5, they're long. Like, this one was 2 parts, and it was, what, 2-3 hours, maybe?
When we started playing, it was about... Well, we got here at 3, and then...
Yeah.
It was
7,
about,
yeah.
because we kind of putted around until like 3:30, and then we explained everything.
Well, it's 8 now, so...
So I think 2-3 hours. So.
Yeah.
Good amount of time.
Like, we were fucking cracking up.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The whole time was a good
Like,
time.
I'd play this again.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would buy this
Absolutely.
game. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It wasn't bloated like their Gen 7, where it was Gen 7 was pretty much the exact same amount of content you got in the box, but for like $100. And they had an expansion that was like $50. It was abysmally embarrassing. That it made me hate this company for a while.
Wow.
But apparently their other one that they did before this one, Aftermath, is really good, and they're using the stories to be a little bit more serious. This one is obviously about pirates. They have cussing. They have just murder. They have drinking. All
Love
that
it.
stuff.
Love it.
The
Debauchery.
appeal of pirates is the fantastical pirates is what they do. When you mentioned it's like, what are we, One Piece? Yeah, yeah, we were.
Yeah, I love that they like they're superstitious and there's like sea monsters and yeah, I love that. I think that's cool.
Captain Razor with his scooter. And here's a really cool thing is like if the length is a little much, like if someone comes up, there is a way to save the game, and it looks very straightforward. You literally just put the player's name, how many treasures what treasures they have, and then like their story events, and then just where our hull and stuff is at, where their cannons are, and then what the board looks like.
It had very convenient pausing points.
Which was awesome, because a lot of games sometimes don't, where it's like, can we end here?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
it's like now you're stuck in a story.
Yeah, and then you have to weirdly, like, package everyone's stuff up in, like, 4 different bags, and it's really weird. I guess a slight negative for me is that, because Kat and I were going to play this the other day, but it requires at least 3. And I was like, dang, I didn't even notice that. But it looks like on the app they do have a solo variant, and they do have a 2-player mode, which I didn't even know. So I guess you can do that. I don't know how well those are, but they do exist. But that could turn some people off. But yeah, like, I really can't praise this game enough. I had so much fun, and I'm very excited to see if they do support it. Because all their other ones... Stuffed Fables,
Very cute.
what was the one we were just... Stuffed Fables, Comanauts, and Aftermath. Those are all kind of the storybook-driven games. They don't have expansions, so it's kind of like the one and done. So I hope with them putting all the effort into the app that they do support this a little bit more than those others.
Yeah, I mean, that voice... I mean... The narrating really added so much to that.
And the sound effects and the
Yeah, I mean,
The birds chirping.
so they've only done the first scenario then.
That's what it says. New as of April 4th, all background audio plus all voiceover audio for Beyond the Ocean's Edge have been added. Voiceover audio for all other scenarios is still on the way.
On the way.
Awesome.
Okay, so
Yeah, so it looks like they are working on that, and whenever you... Because what happens when you click on it? Yeah, so whenever you, like, click on one of the things, it doesn't even give you a scenario, like, objective or what it's about. You click play now, and then you just go, so if I do Spoils of the Damned, then I just go into, all right, well, then I go into view setup in this. If it's the first time, then I just set it up, and then boom.
Cool.
Like, setup is also extremely clean. You just, all right, that's back in. There's actually more treasures that can be added into the deck, these purple ones. They're taken out for the first thing, so there's a little bit more treasures.
Oh.
Yeah, And then, like I said, there's this many different, different pirates.
I liked the name generator.
Yeah, man,
that was on the back of the rulebook.
I love name generators.
Yeah, because I have, I don't even know how many are here, like at least 30 of your moniker and then the name. And yeah, name generators are always so much fun. Because, I don't have to sit here and be like, man, do I want to be funny or do I want to be serious?
It's like, well, you're going to find out.
I don't think any of those are serious. But yeah, that's just so much fun. I'm just amazed with the Mad Libs. How has no one thought of that?
Right.
Yeah.
For a character creation. Yeah.
To be able to add your own flair, whatever you think of.
Yeah,
you know?
depending on the group. Like, if this was... Because that's the thing. If this game wanted to be, like, real-life pirates, where it's like, oh, let's be gruesome and edgy. Let's be Kingdom Death Forgotten Waters. Let's be like that. Well, then it's like... It would be for a very select group of people. Here, it has some cussing, but you don't have to do the voiceovers. If you want to play with your kid, then you can just read it and omit the cuss words.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even bad. It wasn't over the top. I think it said goddamn a few times.
I think it said gosh damn, to be honest.
No, it said goddamn. Because her one of her
Mine
things.
says goddamn pirate.
Yeah.
God's damned pirates.
Oh.
That makes it better.
So, right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with the Mad Libs, you can... Most people probably won't be putting in Hitler in their group, but you are allowed to do that. Kind of the News at 11. It depends on the group you're playing with, is how wild you can get. So I just think, what's the age range, actually, for this game? 14 and up.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
That's probably accurate, but I think you could even go lower.
Yeah.
Depending on... Like, you could play this with your daughter easily.
Essentially the gameplay is pick where you want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about what it's going to do, I mean, that's a whole different level.
Yeah,
But,
and I mean...
then rolling dice, I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, and even the die rolling wasn't like... We rolled very well, and it wasn't like punishing if you really rolled low.
I mean,
I don't know. Having me times together 2 dice is too much.
That was a little... Yeah, you're right.
I like math.
But you're right, yeah, like the reroll tokens come in that it's like you can just generate a whole bunch, and it's like you're most likely not going to get dicked over if you roll a 1.
Well, you rolled what? How many ones in a row?
3! It was so bad. That was like out of the entire first scenario, like, that was like the only time it was bad rolls, over and over and over. And it wasn't even that bad, and it still made it somehow to be funny. Where it's like, okay, I yell and no one hears me, so the ship's still fucking crashing. This game was so good.
It was.
It's so much fun. So, yep, I think that this one was phenomenal. So, do you guys have anything else to add? There's really not a whole lot, honestly, to talk about.
Nope.
So, scale of 1 to 10, Cat.
I'm going to give it a dang on 10.
You're going to give it a 10?
Yeah, I have no complaints. I thought it was funny, and it was like out of the blue funny, which is the funniest.
Right. Because it felt genuine. Like, they actually hired some comedic writer to actually come in. Not some dude who's trying to be that guy who he's not funny, but he tries so hard to be funny. Right. And it's like, dude, just stop.
They didn't
you're
hire
embarrassing.
Amy Schumer to write this.
I mean, just the heartfelt disappointment that was so perfect. I mean... God, in that...
and that's the thing, is like, because those were the crossroad events. Like I said, Dead of Winter had the deck, and most of the time there was a decision that the player that it affected got to do. I like that they incorporated that, but with the app. It takes all that, clunkiness of the card out of it. And... yeah, so it's like, okay, well, let's see what happened. And Kat was upset I didn't eat the spinach, but it's like... It's still funny the other way, where I'm like, Captain, I'm not eating that. Get up. And like, what the hell? And who knows what would have happened? So you have some replayability, even in the scenario.
Yeah, you could have gotten food poisoning.
I probably would have. It's like, lose all...
disgusting.
Captain Razor stabs you as you try to eat the spinach. It's like, dang it.
Is the worst. Yeah. But yeah, I'll give it a 10 just to keep it brief. I loved the Mad Libs, the ad libs, the things. I loved the name generator. I loved the humor of it. I just loved it. It's a really clean game. We weren't asking like, what do we do? Like, this is confusing.
Yeah,
it was really simple.
Yeah, I just liked it. Yeah, and like with Marcy, like I can't wait to play it again.
Yeah, I would play this all the time.
Marcy.
9.5.
9.5. Ooh, not quite a perfect 10.
Then it has to go down to a 9.
Yeah, then I'll be 8.5.
Right.
Make your case.
Awesome. Devin?
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost at a 10. I would say.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
if they go, follow through and narrate the whole thing,
True.
I will give it a 10.
Right.
Because the narration was just such a key.
It was so good.
It was so key because it's like, I usually like to pride myself that I can usually read things pretty cleanly, straight through. But pirate speak is so hard. It has strange catches and then it continues on at weird spots.
And I like reading out loud. So for
Yep.
And they're lengthy. They are lengthy.
Yeah.
I saw that app.
Some of them were
and
really long.
having to read all that would be a little much.
Right. Kind of like whenever we all played Deep Madness, and there was like all that reading all the time. It was like, it gets a little old because like when I'm reading out loud, it's like I'm subconscious that like no one's actually listening. They're just drowning it. It's like, I don't fucking care what he's reading. But with the app, everyone's involved. Like no one has to try and do a voice or anything. No one has to try and be animated. The app does it all for you.
Yeah.
And
so,
they do a really... Because they literally had it for every card, everything that came up. Unlike Mansions of Madness, where it's literally only like the beginning scenario, like the opening and then the epilogue.
Right.
Everything else is just you have to read as a player. Here, every card had, okay, play. All right, and let's just see what happens. Even the one where it's like whenever I was fighting the captain, and he just said, he attacks you. Like, they had that, like, where he would just hit play.
Awesome.
And then it comes up.
Yeah, that would definitely, if they go through and do all that, I will definitely get the game. I would definitely give it a 10.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll stick it at 9.
At a 9?
I think it's neat that it has the solo option, though.
True.
If you wanted to play by yourself.
Yeah. I am intrigued by that, because I didn't even see that whenever I was first going through.
Do you go out in a dinghy?
You control 4 standees.
Oh,
okay.
So to play alone, make the following adjustments. There's a Hungry Pirates rule card. Use 1 player sheet, 1 treasure chest card, and 1 infamy. Use 4 pirate standees of your choice. During the planning phase, place all 4 pirate standees, and during the actions, you resolve them. So, I mean, yeah, in all reality, you don't need the 3. But I think this is definitely a group game, for sure. I mean, because it'd be kind of weird if you're laughing in a room by yourself.
No, yeah,
The humor would be lost.
this is a fun, whimsical game. I think they're just throwing out there just because there's kind of a pressure now.
There is.
To have a solo variant.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, I'm not getting it because I can't play it by myself. It's like, how do you get some friends?
Like, why are you into board games if you...
Right.
It kind of has a prerequisite.
Yeah, go get
prerequisite.
Go get a video game.
Yeah, go get a video game if you want to play solo. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Devin. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think, the voice acting and everything was just phenomenal. A little bit of some slight pausing issues, so I hope they do address that but I mean, that's just probably my weird...
It's far from game breaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally broke the immersion.
For the only negative to be that they read it weird.
That's occasionally read it weird. Because it wasn't all the time, but it was just, I very much noticed it. But yeah, like, other than that, I really have no negatives with this. I hope they go and support it more than they do with their other games. Because Dead of Winter, their other successful Crossroads game, does have expansions. And so they could easily... If they don't support this, I hope that they keep going this route with apps and... because they can go sci-fi, they can go even more fantasy out of Pirates and just do this Crossroads system in a successful way where it's not shit like Gen 7. So yeah, 9.5, 10. This game is fantastic. Yeah. So go out and get it because it's not $100. It is... Actually, I wonder... Because I can easily go on their page and tell you how much it is. And with the government stimulus checks that just came out, like, at this point
of the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Let's see. So if I go to their extra... And like, if you do run out... Because they still give you a lot of characters, but like I said, there's only 1 per character. 1, you could honestly just erase. And there's quite a few ship logs that... Are they different? Okay, so the captain's quarters and the captain's mission, those are gonna be the same from ship to ship, but it might be different depending on what scenario you're in. Mm-hmm. That would make sense, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought they were just gonna be the same, but let's see, how much is it? It is Whew! Oh, this is the same company that did Abomination of Frankenstein. That was another swing and a miss. I don't even know if it's in their store.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You thought it was around 40.
Right? God. I just saw Gen 7 and it made me so mad. Yeah. I think it's around 40 or 50. So yeah. But that's our thoughts on Forgotten Waters, everyone. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.